and welcome to Linda's Kitchen. My name's Linda Evans, and today we're going to be baking a no-knead dough, a bread dough. It's going to be an artisan type of a loaf, and it's extremely simple. You're going to love it. Over here I have 3 cups of bread flour, but you can also use unbleached all-purpose flour. I have a teaspoon of 1 1/4 teaspoons of salt and a 1/4 teaspoon of instant yeast. I've mixed my dry ingredients and I'm going to add 1 1/2 cups of water. Remember, if the weather is hot, I usually use cool water. If it's cool outside, I will use lukewarm water. So all you have to do is just stir till everything's incorporated. All the ingredients are wet, and you're going to have a shaggy dough. Okay, it will not be smooth. Doesn't matter. We're just going to wet the dough. Wet the dough. You just want a wet dough. This is what your dough should look like. It's just a shaggy dough. I'm just trying to wet it, and now it's done. I'm going to pour it into my greased bowl. I usually use olive oil for greasing this bread, and I just dump it in there. I'm going to cover it with a little bit of plastic, and we're going to leave it overnight for 18 hours. You can always start it up again at 12 hours, but it tastes better if it's left alone for 18 hours. Alright, and that's it. So this bread has been already rising for about 18 hours. I'm going to get ready to turn it out and shape it into the loaf. This is what it should look like, nice and bubbly, very light and airy. Okay, I'm going to take some flour, dust my surface with it. Please be very generous with the flour. Okay, turn it out. Just dump it out. That's all you're doing. And we're going to let it rest for about 15 minutes. And then we'll get to shaping it. Get all that in. If you have a bench scraper, it really helps. It comes in handy. So I'm going to take my flour and I'm going to sprinkle it on there again. See how liberal I am? Be generous with the flour. Don't hesitate to. Okay, fold it over once. Flour the surface again. Give it a little more flour. And then fold it one more time. Alright? There we go. What you can do now is just cover it with your bowl and let it rest for 15 minutes. I usually line my oven with tiles and I bake the dough directly on the tiles. If you don't have any, this can be baked in one of these cast iron pots, and what you would do is you would put it inside of the oven, let it, and then turn on the oven to preheat it at 450. When you're ready to put the dough out, you remove the pot and you directly put it into the pot and cover it. Bake it right in the pot for the 30 minutes. Take the lid off, and I would take out the loaf and turn off my heat and just let it sit in the oven for a half hour. Alright, so you have that option as well. You also have one more option in that you can have a pizza stone heating in the oven if you have a pizza stone, and you would bake it directly on the pizza stone. So the dough's been rising for 15 minutes. Now we're going to get ready to shape it. You're going to grab the edges and just pull them towards the center while you're holding them to form a little ball. And again, okay, all over here. See? Okay, flour it. I'm going to turn it over. Flour. Now I'm going to just roll it across my surface, and this creates a little bit of a tension to help shape your bread. I'm turning and pulling. Okay, I'm pulling down with my right hand, pushing up with my left, and I'm just shaping it. I pull it across. Just drag it. Drag it across your surface. Alright, see how it makes a nice little tight roll. Okay, So I have some wheat bran here. Wheat Bran. I'm going to sprinkle it very generously. Okay. Be very generous with this. And then I'm going to take my roll and I'm going to place it seam side on the surface. Then I have some rice flour. I will sprinkle the top part over here with rice flour. Again, be generous, please. Be very generous, because as it rises, you don't want it sticking on everything. Alright, now I just cover it with a towel and it's ready to go. Cover your loaf with a towel or flour sack. We're going to let it rest till it doubles, generally about an hour. In the meantime, in about a half hour, we'll let our oven preheat at 450 degrees so it gets ready. I'm going to flip it onto my terracotta tiles. You just put your hand underneath the dough, you lift it, and then we're just going to put it right on top here. Just flip it right over. Okay? Now, I'm going to add some water onto this to create steam. Okay, it's been 30 minutes and my bread's ready to come out. I off the oven, and then what I actually do is I remove my cast iron skillet. That's the one I use for the wheat. And I just leave my bread in there for an additional half hour, but I leave the door of the oven ajar slightly. So we'll leave it in there for another half hour and then take it out and it's ready to go. That's it. So the bread's been in the oven for an additional half hour. The oven has been off, and now I'm going to take it out. Okay. And let's put it on a little cooling rack. Okay. Beautiful. Delicious no-knead bread fresh from the oven. Easy to make, delicious to enjoy, from my kitchen to yours. Make some.